Holy smokes. Welcome to college football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends if you want to support this college football rebel outpost, the home for the college football sickos. With a donation to help us keep the lights on and grow the channel, hit that $sign where you make your comment, and I'll get to super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome, everybody, to a very confused fat guy from Minnesota host of this national college football YouTube channel. Everybody come on into the studio that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. Holy smokes. Breaking news is being reported everywhere. A new statement from the Florida State Athletic Director, Michael Alford, who says a comprehensive review of the football program will happen when the season ends. Florida State football benefits. Now, this is from the athletic director, Michael Alford. Florida State football benefits from the unmatched, passionate support from the entire Florida State family. Okay, all right, that sounds good. And the commitment to our football program is unwavering. Well, that sounds like everybody else. We rightfully have high expectations in everything we do to represent Florida State in the manner that built our reputation as one of the college football's best programs. Cultivating an extraordinary group of supporters nationally and globally. We're gonna hear that word a lot for the next 10 years, globally. Re-embrace those expectations while also sharing the deep disappointment when results on the field are short of that standard. As we continue to move forward this season, our comprehensive assessment of the football program will be completed at season's end. Meanwhile, we are fully committed to helping Coach Norvell and the 2025 Seminoles strongly rebound in the coming weeks. We will continue to move forward this season. Our comprehensive assessment of the football program will be completed at season's end. Comprehensive assessment. Comprehensive assessment. Pinocchos, for now, no changes are expected at Florida State until the end of the season. Michael Alford, he is sticking with Mike Norvell. He was at that Stanford football game. He was on camera. He was there. I don't get it. I know it's a lot of money. What is the difference in money buyout if they do it now or until they do it after January 1st? You know how much money Florida State's going to lose right now? It ain't just about money lost when you do the buyout. It is money lost in everything else. That recruiting class, the Florida State Seminole fan base, don't you think they deserve a little bit more than this? You don't need a They haven't won it. The Florida State Seminoles haven't won a conference game for the past 12 months. How much money have you spent on NIL, on the portal? I know the Florida State Seminole fans watched that Stanford game. What other decision? How much more analyzation do you need to make? Paralysis by analysis. You got to give your program hope right now. You know how many other jobs are going to be open? We don't know. There's been quite a bit of jobs open already. There might be some other blue blood. You can't get so far behind the sticks. You gotta talk to agents right now. And I'm not much of a believer in a search committee. I think I would rather have an athletic director make the call. I'd rather have the athletic director be accountable, have him accumulate the information that he needs. What have you been doing? Look, this is a loss. This is a $50 million loss this way, or a $40 million loss. It's a loss. You know what you do? You cut your losses. You cut your losses. I am very interested to hear what you all think on this. I'm a little stunned. I don't get it. This is a national college football YouTube channel. We cover the coaching carousel. This one shocks me. And now look, I get Wisconsin. I've said this whole season they're probably going to stick with Luke Fickell to the end of the year. I don't know if even that's a good idea anymore. But I get Wisconsin. I get why Florida did what they did. I mean, Florida wants to get out there, man. They want to let Lane Kiffin know that he's the guy. And if he ain't going to be the guy, the number 2 guy, they want to get out there right now. They want to get the edge. Whatever edge Gainesville needs to get, they're going to try to get it. And Florida State is sitting back? Florida State, who went to the courts, who did the unthinkable and sued the conference just so they could have meaningful conversations, options in the years ahead. They're letting I got nothing against Mike Norvell, obviously. Seems like a very good person. Had great success at Memphis. Had a 13-0 Florida State team. But have you watched them since the Alabama game? Did you watch them last year? There is complete chaos on that sideline. You saw it. Maybe you did because the game. I told all of you. I watched the whole game. I was up until the early morning hours. I could not believe. You can't watch that and think that it's not just the head coach. It's the whole. They've lost the team. They've lost it, and now you're gonna go the week. We still got 5 more weeks of the season. I mean, what are we even doing here? Let's take a look at this schedule. Let's take a look at Florida State's schedule. How many? What type of a hand grenade are you going to give the new head coach? Look at the rest of the schedule. Wake Forest at Clemson, Virginia Tech at North Carolina State at Florida. Florida, who's already out there beating the bushes for the new head coach. They lost to Virginia, lost to Miami, lost to Pitt, lost to Stanford. 0-4 in the ACC. What is going on? What is the reason? It can't be. Come on. You had a full assessment of Mike Norvell last year, and you decided to keep him. You decided to get a new coaching staff, new coordinator. You decided to, do this, do that, put more money in NIL, and this has all gone pear-shaped again. What other assessment do you need to make? It can't be about that. It's got to be about the money. Florida State don't have the money to get out from under this. I know it's a lot of money. I know it is. I get it. It's a lot of money. It is. It is. But Florida State has gone all in, baby. They went to the courts. They're going to try to get to a P2 or a region, a reimagined ACC. Florida, big changes are going to be happening for Florida State by hook or by crook. And now, at this late hour, you're going to keep Mike Norvell for the rest of the season? You're not going to keep him after this year. You're not going to keep Mike Norvell after this year. You're not keeping him. You can't. You're going to get buried. Florida's going to get a new head coach. It very well could be Lane Kiffin. You got Miami doing what Miami's doing. And I know they had a heartbreak loss, but Miami's not going anywhere anytime soon. You got Scott Frost at UCF making some magic happen in his first year back. And then you got USF, who has a very good chance of being the G5 representative in the college football playoffs. Everyone's moving, and Florida State is going to keep Mike Norvell for the next 5 years, five games. Not to mention all the other things that are going on in ACC. Georgia Tech 7-0 since the first time since Lyndon Baines Johnson administration. You got Virginia. You got Pittsburgh with that freshman quarterback who's going to cause a lot of problems for the next couple of years. They already caused Florida State problem last week, 2 weeks ago. You got Louisville. You got all these things going on, and you're keeping Mike Norvell another couple of months. That fan base, I'm just a guy up here in northern Minnesota. I might be reading all of this wrong. I might have everything wrong on this early morning, October 20th. I probably do. I am the original Minnesota moron. I am the re-elected mayor of Loserville City. But because I am the re-elected mayor of Loserville City, I think that's why this is a loser move, not to make a move. This is not the James Franklin situation, which I think a lot of us can question. You can be on both sides of that issue. James Franklin went belly up for 3 straight weeks on a season in which people expected Penn State to be the Big Ten champion, to be possibly the national champion. Penn State went belly up 3 weeks. Florida State has gone belly up since the start of the 2024 season. How much more comprehensive assessment do you need? That game against Stanford, I don't know how many of you watched it. I don't know if I was a Seminole fan. Look, and I'm not trying to take shots at Stanford. They're trying to get better like everybody else. Stanford is trying to get better like everybody else. You've got Andrew Luck running out on the field, taking care of his injured players. I thought that was great. I mean, they've got an interim coach. They lost their starting quarterback during the game. They lost their best running back, their best player, Micah Ford, during the game. I mean, Stanford was getting hammered. They were getting injured, but yet they won the game. I mean, it's crazy. Florida State, come on. You cannot let this. What about the boosters? Do they really agree with this? Do they really agree with this? Is this really everything to do with financial, like right now type of thing. Maybe Florida State should get a private capital deal, an equity deal. They've got to get out from under this. Rock and Rant, great. Perhaps all the money donated for the stadium, and then a reported $100 million. Maybe they can't do it yet. How much will it go down if they keep them until January 2nd? That's a question. But I would say they're going to lose a lot of money from now until January 2nd. The Stanford SMU game was much closer than... Okay, I get it. Yeah, Stanford, I mean, they're trying to win the football game too. But you haven't won for a whole entire calendar year. You've lost 9 straight ACC games. This is Florida State. Replica. Norvell buyout goes from 59 to 53 if they wait till the end of the season. This is Florida State. This is not... I can name off about 45 FBS programs. I can rip off about a 25, 30 Power 4 conferences programs, which I could possibly understand. I mean, I'm going to give an example. My hot board list, right? My head coaching hot list. I got Mike Norvell number 1. Well, Hugh Freeze number 2, Mark Stoops 3, Fickle. I've got Loxley on there. I can understand Maryland keeping Loxley along this because, but Florida State has not won. It can't be just about what happened against Stanford, which is bad enough. It can't be what happened against Miami. Okay, they came back and they did not quit. Pittsburgh, Virginia. Okay, but you haven't won an ACC game in over a year. And that Stanford game, that was not a well-coached game. That was not, you guys, go watch. If you did not see that game, go watch the entirety of that game. Go watch the interactions between Norvell and the Florida State football players. The Seminole fan base deserves, I say this about Nebraska fan base, Seminole fan base deserve so much more than this. It can't be about a comprehensive assessment. Maybe to use those words because they're going to try to save some money out of the buyout. But they're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to lose that recruiting class. One of the advantages, a couple advantages, if Norvell would have gotten his walking papers today. Number one, you can get out in front. You can get a hold of agents. You can get your positioning in the coaching carousel. You can figure out who's interested, who's not going to be interested. But number 2, and this is probably even more important, you can sell hope. Hope is a very dangerous thing, and hope can be a very positive thing. You've got to sell hope. I have received, my DM is lit up. I have received 4 Seminole DMs before I came on here. Seminole fans with emojis of crying, desperation, sadness. I know that's just 4 of them. That's not a good poll. That's not a scientific poll. But I got to imagine, I haven't had a chance. This was just breaking news. I came on here. I got to imagine that the Seminole fan base is furious. Absolutely furious. Super chat Expedition Greg. Maybe you can get some insight from the Florida State money perch, Greg. Like I said, the last time we heard from the Florida State money perch, he was incredibly depressed. So this was before even the season started. Remember the last email? We went through it. He didn't think anything was imminent about Florida. He did not think Florida State had an inside track to get to the Big Ten or the SEC. Like, it was complete depression. And of course, nothing has happened yet. But I don't share his outlook on that. But whatever, it's his outlook. He's a big booster, and he was down on Mike. I mean, basically everything he's been depressed about has come true and even more. We will try to get a hold of him. That's the best I can do. I do not interact with him directly. Thank you, Expedition Greg, for the $5 holla. I appreciate it. Kenneth Meaner, Florida State with a lame duck coach, letting Florida get a head start while Miami and USF continue to recruit the state. If Kiffin to Florida, it would be a disaster. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think this is I think in the long run, you're going to lose more money, more ground. Florida State is not just competing. Like, Florida State is competing with everything that is going on in the state of Florida in the ACC. And they're going to lose more ground on this. I agree with you, Kenneth. There's a lot of people are going to be disagreeing with us, but I agree with the ECU Pirate. Thank you for the $5 holler. My prof, which currently available coach is worth $10 million a year. I don't see very many good candidates myself. The candidate doesn't have to be worth $10 million. The candidate doesn't have to be worth $10 million. Now, again, Florida State went with the Memphis Norvell, so they're probably going to be interested in Silverford. Maybe they're not going to be interested in Alex Golish. They probably should. There is John Summerall out there. I mean, there's Jeff Brom. I don't know. Doesn't have to be a $10 million a year coach. But they got to get out from under this, in my opinion. Dan Mullen, don't think so. Bring back Jimbo, I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. Florida State is a broke university. Availability of finances. Realignment curse. Phillips must have put a curse on North Carolina, Florida State, and Clemson. SYD Irish, crazy year. Who would take the Florida State job if it opens? I think there'd be a lot of interest in taking the Florida State job. I think a lot of interest. Well, $4 million ain't nothing when you talk about, but you're going to lose $4 million in other ways. It's not, the cost isn't just about the buyout. The cost is merchandise sales, contributions, sponsorship, recruiting class is going to go down the tubes. You think that if they fire Norvell, maybe they come together and win some games? That could be possibly the worst thing that happens if Norvell wins a few games. Guys, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this completely different than most of you. Florida State, there is something wrong there. You do not go a whole calendar season without winning an ACC football game if you are Florida State. That doesn't happen. It should not happen. There is something systemic. There is something at the core. It was complete debauchery. Miscommunication everywhere on that sideline against Stanford. I don't see it, guys. I don't know how this... I don't... I agree, no, 7. I think this is this doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. How many schools have not won a conference game in a year? Well, not many, but there is some. But this is Florida State. This is Florida State. It's not like they have disadvantages like a lot of programs out there. They're not the Minnesota Golden Gophers. I don't want to rip on anybody's teams. I'll rip on mine. Florida State is not the Gophers. Florida State's recruiting class, the talent available, the money available, all the advantages. I'll just use my Gophers. I could use a whole bunch of teams out there. I'm not going to do it. I don't want more people getting pissed off at me. But this is the Seminoles. I get it. You can have a bad year. Of course you can. This isn't Mike Norvell going 0-4 in the ACC after going 7-6 last year. This is Florida State going 0-4 in the ACC while going 2-10 last year. I mean, that's just unconscionable. That's like the Minnesota, if I'm talking Minnesota Golden Gophers, that's like the Minnesota Golden Gophers hockey team finishing in the bottom of the Big Ten hockey one year and that they're at the bottom of the conference next year. There would be a riot in Minnesota if that happened and the coach stayed. There would be a riot. Mariucci Arena is heaven in college hockey. The arena, we make more money than everybody else in hockey. The ticket prices are higher than everywhere. There's more sponsorship money. Now, we don't win the national championship lately because, again, I'm the re-elected mayor of Louisville City, but you cannot be at the bottom, not with all those advantages. This is Florida State, for God's sakes. This is the Seminoles. You are at the bottom. And now you're telling your fan base that we need a comprehensive assessment and it'll be done by the end of the year. Every Seminole fan that I know of has already done that fully comprehensive assessment. Am I missing something? I got to be missing something. Okay, we are going to go back into this. We are going to go back into this. We are going to go back into the story. We're going to cover the breaking news on it. First of all, I just want to go through some of the football games that we are going to be making our picks against the spread on this week. And then we're going to go right back into it. I got questions about Michael Alford. Was this his decision? Is it being told by boosters? Is there a fracture? I'm sure it's not unanimous either way. Is there something else going on? Is Michael Alford even going to be the guy in power? Is this a stall job on Michael Alford? Is there something else deeper going on at Florida State and Tallahassee? We'll get all into that. We're going to go to your phone calls. Super chats always reign first. But again, let's go through the games that we are going to be focusing on making our picks against the spread in week 9. Northwestern at Nebraska. We're going to be making our selections this Wednesday, a couple days from now. Nebraska -7.5. Northwestern has won 4 in a row. They're going into Lincoln. Nebraska better tighten up those chin straps because they're going to have a battle on their hands. Ooh, Kansas State at Kansas. They do not like each other. They do not like each other. Wildcats, Jayhawks. What do you guys think? This is the game that I think we're going to be doing our watch party. We've done a couple of SEC games. We just did the Cincinnati Bearcat Big 12 game. I think it's time for us to actually do a watch party when it comes to the Indiana Hoosiers and Kirk Cignetti. I don't think I've done one yet with Indiana. Shame on me. Shame on me. But we are going to correct that. UCLA with 3 Big Ten wins in a row. The Indiana Hoosiers, 24.5 point spread. Wow. My Golden Gophers are going to Iowa City, and we're going to be taking home the Floyd of Rosedale. We are going to be snatching that away from you evil Hawkeyes, Minnesota, Iowa. Look at the line at Virginia, North Carolina. Virginia 6-1. Can they actually beat the Tar Heels on the road by 10 or more points? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know about that one. Ole Miss, Oklahoma. John Mateer, is he fully healthy? They beat the Gamecocks. Ole Miss just lost the shootout. The Sooners favored by 4.5. Texas A&M at LSU. This is the Tigers' last chance. I keep saying that every week. This is the LSU Tigers' last chance. Undefeated Texas A&M. BYU, quarterback by Superman. Number 47, his name is Superman, at Iowa State. Does Matt Campbell got something up his sleeve? This is the year. If Matt Campbell is ever going to leave Ames, Iowa, this is the year. With all those job openings, with all the respect that Matt Campbell has, but he does have great love for Iowa State. So keep an eye on Matt Campbell. Missouri Vanderbilt. This is basically a playoff game, kind of. Vanderbilt favored by 2.5. Missouri had an off week last week. Ahmed Hardy was slowed down once again. What is going on with Missouri's running game? South Florida at Memphis. Memphis, now this is your last chance. You lost last week in a shaka. South Florida is rolling again. Illinois, Washington. Big game for the Fighting Illini at Washington. Going to be mighty interesting. So those are the games that we are going to be going over this week. Those are the games we're going to be making our picks. The Trench Grinch. This sucks, Greg. I mean, this really sucks. I feel helpless. Yeah, I got one Florida State message board up here on my computer, and people are going apocalyptic. It's going there. This is not a good situation. I don't think this was the right decision. It's pretty funny how everyone wants to spend Florida State's money like they can make it magically appear. It's a good point, Michael Smith, but you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money either way. You're going to lose money either way. And you're going to lose your recruiting class. You're not providing any hope. The concession stands, the merch sale, the sponsorship, the contributions are going to tank. You're losing money all those ways and more. It's not just you're losing it one way, you're losing it both ways. I haven't heard Steel Austin. Greg, what is Silent Tony telling you about the public capital deal? I haven't heard. I have not heard. This was a weekend of football. I really wasn't poking and prodding on that. We'll get back on it this week. Ed D, the way I see it, they made over $120 million in ticket gate so far this season. So they have the money and can get the money. They haven't made $120 million. You don't make that much in ticket sales. I don't know where you're getting that number. It's not $120 million. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. Most FBS programs make about $20 million in ticket sales for all their sports combined. Suzanne Bijor, so disappointed in my alma mater, making decisions that will keep us in the ACC. Yeah. The Florida State boosters have been steadily given for a while. Maybe it's time to take a break. Well, okay. What about what about everyone saying, look, everybody's saying, why the Big Ten? Why the Big Ten schools? Why are 16 of them, 15 of them want this public capital deal? They get over $100 million to pay down their debts. Why don't they just get a deal with their university or a deal, get a bond, get a loan, get whatever? Why are they doing this other thing? Why are they looking at doing this? Well, my question is, if that's true, why doesn't Florida State reach into their endowment, get a whatever? If it's so easy for these universities to get money, why don't Florida State do it? This is going to cost Florida State money, in my opinion. Now, this is a Chef Mall. This is the comment that I was going to get to. Maybe Florida State doesn't want Alford making the next hire. Now, I would think that internally they could figure that out. They could get that done while still letting Mike Norvell go. But maybe they can't. Maybe it's more complicated. But this is the question that I had before we went to the games that we're going to be making our picks this week in week 9. That's the question that I had. Is this a Michael Alford, them not wanting him to have the power, not even to create the startup on this change, not to create a search committee, not to have the power to himself? Woody, if a few players are making snide comments in reference to Norvell, there are bigger issues. Stanford has infinite money and they don't reach in their endowment for sports. I get that. But that's my defense of the Big Ten schools. That's why they're looking at the public capital investment, because there isn't all this money that they can get otherwise. That I'm trying to use. I get Florida State's position on it. My point is, Florida State's going to lose money either way. They are. You don't. The 24/7 message board is literally crashing. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get anything up. And of course, I'm not logged in. Hold on. Forgot what my login is. Yeah, it's crashed. 247 has crashed. 247 has crashed. It's probably who knows, but it might be the Florida State message board that crashed it. Unbelievable. Probably not going to spend a lot of time looking at my mentions today. Florida State beat writer, but I get why Florida State leaders wouldn't want to make an immediate emotional decision that could have implications of a $100 or million or more dollars when they can't hire a replacement right now anyway. But fire away. Let's see if I can. See if I can log on to this. Sorry guys, hold on. I'm trying to remember all my passwords. This is on 3. It's the emotions that make college athletics such a bad business. Fortune 500 companies love bringing former coaches to give motivational speeches. Whether to talk about leadership, teamwork, I don't know. With that in mind, I have long thought college administrators would be wise to follow the lead of those CEOs and bring businesses executives in to provide guidance for the athletics department. That's not to say the athletic director like Florida State, Michael Alford, doesn't have business sense. It's just that there are so many external factors in the sports world. Seems like War Chant, at least this writer, is defending not getting rid of. I can't even read that. I'm having a hard time with this one. I am having a hard time with this one. Thank you, Rock and Rant. I'm having a hard time with this one. Okay, well, how much was Billy Napier's buyout? How much was Billy Napier's buyout? My worry is he gets fired and the next coach can't utilize the portal. I think the early signing period is December 3rd or something. When you don't get your new head coach ready and going in this era of college football, then that year one becomes year zero. Look what happened to Rich Rod from West Virginia. Yeah, you're not going to be able to use the portal. I mean, as well as you could have. Christopher Hooter, super chat. Thank you for the $5 holler, Christopher Hooter. Big difference between $50 million from alumni to improve facilities. That sticks on the balance sheet versus one-time expense to make a coach go away. Yeah, that's true. That is true. $21 million for Napier. No offset, I believe. And I guess there's no mitigating. There's nothing going to be coming off of Mike Norvell's buyout. Dante's in Purgatory. Thanks for coming on in. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I'm feeling really nervous about Florida State's future. I'm feeling really nervous about Florida State's future. I get the great expense, but I'm really worried about their future. On the football field. Kenneth Meaner, never thought I'd say Virginia currently looks like a better addition to football than SEC over North Carolina, Florida, Clemson. Well, they're not when it comes to value, obviously. Thank you for the super chat, Kenneth Meaner. Obviously, Florida State, Clemson. But it's Florida State. And Florida State has been making this incredible effort to look out for the football program for the future. They went and sued their conference. They went into the courts. They cut a deal. They got the exit fee lowered. Right? Eventually it's going to go to 129 million, and then it goes down to 75 million in 2030. And they got a better result than a lot of people thought they were going to get in the courts. And now they're making a move. Then now they're what? I just don't think Mike Norvell. I'm wondering. Hey, Greg, I believe Florida. Thank you for the $5 holler, Kenneth Maynard. I appreciate your generosity. I really do. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Greg, I believe Florida State should get after Tony Elliott. That'd be very interesting. No question about it. Now again, Florida State, and however they do to look for the new head coach, if they even look for a new head coach after this year, because the buyout ain't going to go down much, it sounds like. Why wait? It doesn't. If you're going to be... If the buyout doesn't go down much, why are you waiting? You cannot keep Mike Norvell after this year. Preston from Greensboro. I just don't see any upside to keeping him. Florida State to the ACC. Florida State is trying really hard to turn into Nebraska. Okay, we're going to open up the phone lines. The phone lines are now open. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. Right now, I got to tell you, I've read a couple of Florida State beat writers. They're not having too much of a problem with this decision. I'm wondering what Jeff Cameron is going to go. Jeff Cameron from War Chant is going to go crazy. He's not going to agree with this. I mean, look at UCLA, right? Look what happened to UCLA. They got rid of a coach. Now, they didn't have any cost to it, but they bring on interim Tim Skipper, and now they got hope again. And who knows what they're going to do. They might keep Tim Skipper, or they might go to a new a coaching search. I believe 2 years ago, Florida State finally paid off Taggart. But again, you know, it's kind of cost sunk. You're gonna lose the money either way.
Call from
Rod Nix.
Rod Nix, I appreciate you calling, sir. The floor is yours.
Good morning, Greg. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm a little shocked this morning. I got to tell you. I got to be honest. This is college football's peek around the corner, and this is not what I saw when I peeked around the corner. What about you, Rod?
Greg, I'm here to tell you, everybody is shocked.
Yeah.
Everybody is shocked. But I'm going to use your forum with your blessing to try to bring some sanity to what's going on.
All right. Go for it.
Nobody likes it, but the truth often hurts. In Florida State, my beloved Florida State Seminoles are in a absolute travesty of a position.
Yeah.
This goes much deeper than just football. This goes much, much deeper than football. This crisis has been almost 20 years in the making. The same good old boy mindset, the same general store way of operating is what led to what we are seeing unfold today. Jimbo Fisher sounded this alarm a decade plus ago that Florida State was not ready and not equipped to play in the new evolving world of college football. Multiple people tried and failed to get the good old boys to see the light. They didn't. Again, I am a lifelong Florida State fan, and this hurts to say this, but Florida State is now in a state that is going to take at least 5 to 10 years to recover from. They don't have the money. Point blank and simple. We don't have the money. If you have been to Tallahassee, you have seen the massive investments that are going on in terms of facilities and the like. True.
Yeah.
That all came as a result of the arrival of Michael Alford. not anything else. But Florida State, the boosters, and others have invested millions of dollars into other things that don't necessarily benefit football. They benefit the community. It has not been the athletic directors, with the exception of a couple of things, that have caused this and delayed this over and over and over again. Reality is these are self-inflicted wounds that work from inside the Moore Center. Half of these decisions were made by people that don't know a damn thing about football. They're business people.
Wow.
And all they cared about was the bottom line. The football decisions, the rapid changing, the modernization of the program began when Michael Alford arrived. He's a fall guy.
Oh.
They're sitting here talking about right now, we're going to have a committee. We had a committee that led to us hiring Mike Norvell. Okay? That same committee, we had an accountant that served as the chief financial officer for the state of Florida, running our athletic department to try to get the books in order so that we could get Mike Norvell and begin the process. I'm emotional. I'm emotional. Forgive me.
I get it. That's fine. Take your time,
This
sir.
is a hurting day for Seminole Nation. Those of us that truly love this hurts.
Yeah.
And forgive me, the ATC family.
Yeah.
But the ACC lawsuit, that didn't even come into focus until Peter Collins and Michael Alfred looked at the contracts that we signed. These same good old boys hung us by selling out to the ACC years ago. When Swapper and ESPN and these guys came up with that dumb deal, Florida State fought and opposed that then in the Moore Center. But the good old boys took the money and went with it because we were good then. Everything was great. But nobody realized times were changing. And we have got caught with our pants down.
Yeah.
We're going to pay a heavy price. We don't have the money. And we're going to lose money. We're going to lose this money.
Yeah.
Okay? But eventually we're going to have to take this loss to get anywhere near where we really need to be to go forward and put this program where it needs to go. It's a painful day for Noel Nation. God knows it is.
Yes.
But we have no choice. We
right.
do not have $100 to $120 million to restart, and that's just fact. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention on this.
Can I ask you a question, Rod?
Sure, my friend. Go ahead.
Now, does Florida State have let's say Florida State did get a call from the Southeastern Conference tomorrow, and the Southeastern Conference was going to do a big scoop. Does Florida State have $160 million to get out of the ACC right now?
Greg, to answer your question, in the opinion of myself, a mid-tier booster, and most of my friends, I don't think we have it.
Okay.
I don't think Florida State can get to the promised land, honestly, without some major infusion of private equity. We don't. The boosters are tapped out, Greg. We donated almost We donated almost $500 million toward the stadium renovation. Okay, which is not as glamorous as what people are. It's a needed job. It's beautiful. It was needed, but it's not everything everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
We spent $140 million on a football operations facility, like I said, that Jimbo asked for 10 years ago, that we knew we needed. We were fleeced over and over and over. Florida State has paid more for every move we made than what we should have paid if we did it when we needed to.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's there without an infusion of capital, Greg. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
And the good old boy network set us up for the failure that we are seeing unfolding today.
Hey, Rod, I appreciate the phone call. I really do. I want you to call this channel again, okay, sir?
I will, brother. And again, thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for getting the word out there. And if I can close with this. My brothers and sisters in Noel Nation, we're hurting. We are hurting today. But we are truly, in the words of Odell Higgins, we are unconquered. We will get through this. We will see a brighter day. I promise you. Don't please hold the spirit of Seminole Nation close. We will get through this. Thanks, Greg. God bless.
Appreciate it, brother.
All right, out here.
You got it. Man, what a... First of all, an incredible call by Rod Nix. I think I probably needed to hear that more than others to remind me of the spot that Florida State is in, and almost everybody is. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. One of the reasons why the Big Ten is looking at the reason. There's two reasons. One of the two biggest reasons that the Big Ten, the Big Ten, who is the wealthiest conference in the country. One of the big reasons why they're looking at this private capital deal is because they got to pay down the debt here. So many schools are running such a high debt load. They're spending so much money yearly on their debt. Everybody. At the Ohio State Buckeyes. Everybody. My University of Minnesota, we got this beautiful stadium. It's not that big because we don't have this big, large fan base. It's a beautiful stadium. Every time the other Big Ten announcers go to it, they're always going, my gosh, this place is great. The Nebraska beat writers once again said how loud it was Friday night and it's a great party and blah, blah, blah. But that thing, we still owe, I think, I might be wrong, we still owe over $200 million on that. Maybe it's lower than $200 million, but you get it. 180, 190, 200. Minnesota went and bought this incredible, built this incredible athletic village, what Florida State just got done. Minnesota did it, when was it? 8 years ago? I don't remember how old this thing is. 8, 9, whatever. We did it at the right time. But we still owe $30 million on that. Minnesota has this Mariucci Arena. Minnesota has which is an incredible hockey arena, but it costs so much money. You've got Williams Arena, the oldest basketball, and they got to renovate Williams Arena. It's over 100 years old, for God's sakes. It's the barn. The program is down, the basketball program is one of the worst programs in the country. It plays in the oldest arena. I'm just giving you a Minnesota example. It's like everybody's swimming in debt. And it's hard to get out from under that. And that's why the private capital, they basically want to... And the second reason is the Big Ten enterprises. They think that's going to create more revenue. I don't know how. But that's what people are up against. And there's competition out there. So to win football games, right, it helps to have a great football coach. To have a great football coach, you got to spend the money. And then when you have success with that football coach, and now you got to lock them in. And then when you lock them in and everything collapses, well, now you owe a whole lot of money. It's a vicious cycle. Vicious. Great call by Rod Nix. Outstanding. Rod Nix, thanks PATC family. Thanks Greg Knowles. To the end, come high water. Hell or high water. The new head coach will not take over till next year anyway. That's a logical statement. But the later you take over, the more difficult year 0 becomes. The later you take over, the more difficult it is to get the coaching staff you want, to get the 2026 high school class lined up. There's going to be, I don't know. If Lane Kiffin goes to Florida, phone lines are open. Phone lines are open 763-260-1333.
Call from
Rick?
Rick, the floor is yours.
Wow, this sounds like dire straits for the Seminoles.
Yeah.
The financial aspect is really going to come into play with a lot of schools real soon. I think this is the tip of the iceberg. Florida State's not alone. Then there's the amount of teams that Florida State supports. They have 20 teams, I think, right?
Yeah.
All of that on the back of their football and basketball programs, financially. Add to that, you've got House v. NCAA with their handout, collecting more money from the program. And that's why when we look at the deal there in the Big Ten with the equity deal,
Yep.
I find it ironic that maybe the two richest programs in the Big Ten are the two that are voting against it.
Two of the four. I mean, Ohio State's the richest, but yeah.
Okay. Okay, but
Yeah.
I'm just talking about within the Big Ten, two schools are voting against it,
Yeah.
and 16 are voting for it.
Yeah.
But the two that are voting against it are up to their eyeballs in money.
Yeah.
So they're in a position where they can throw that around and not worry about it, while the other 16 schools, minus two, Ohio State and whoever the fourth is,
Penn State, Oregon.
Penn State,
Yeah.
Oregon, can sit back and maybe go either way with it. So that's why when I was so upset before about going without Michigan and USC, going ahead with it, it's for the best of the remaining schools in the Big Ten, obviously financially.
Yeah.
And I really think they could pull it off. I mean, if you've got there's no reason you can't market Big Ten enterprises throughout the world, in Europe and South America, Asia, wherever you want to do it. And you're throwing the 16 logos around, on the symbol of Big Ten Enterprises. And granted, there's not a block M on it, and there's not a Trojan silhouette. But I think it's still super marketable throughout the world, and many businesses are going to want to jump on board.
We'll see. That's going to be the next really interesting shoe to drop. if they don't do the deal, does the Big Ten enterprises still get created? So, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
And that could be, I'm trying to think of what the word they use in business, where they pull out everything else in the deal is set aside, but Big Ten Enterprises by itself becomes a separate entity.
Yeah.
And works toward advancing their position. But if you think about the problems that the Seminoles have, what's happening to the other schools in the ACC?
Yeah, they're all having the problems, and even worse, some of them, and that is why the ACC schools have all gotten together and looked at private equity deals. I mean, they've been doing this stuff. The Big 12, a lot of Big 12 programs, very bleak, very bleak. They're either the institutions getting more involved, like what's going on in West Virginia. Yeah, everyone is, not everyone, but almost everyone is a little bit underwater, or a lot underwater financially.
Yeah, they're financially strapped.
Yep.
And you think about the Boston colleges and the Syracuse and the Wake Forest.
Yep.
Yeah, not only are they getting pinched, but they have to pay more to Florida State.
Yep. Yes.
Who may be underwater. I'd be tempted to go back and want to start a new deal. Say, hey, forget you. You're just like us. You're no different than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How are you any different than us?
Yeah. But how much more money is Florida State going to make right now on that ACC unequal revenue sharing deal?
Oh, nominal. It's nominal.
Yeah. Right now it's going to be nominal. Yep.
Next to
Virginia's going to get some viewership here in the next few weeks, and Georgia Tech's been getting them. So.
Oh, Virginia is doing so well to hoist themselves into the SEC that it's ridiculous. It's almost come to the point where Virginia football is more attractive to Sankey than North Carolina football.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, if you go by the record.
Yeah, but you don't, I mean.
I know.
Yeah. I appreciate the call, my man.
Yep. Thanks for early. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Breaking news.
Call from
Evil Badger.
Evil Badger. Can you hold on for a moment? We got breaking news out of Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
We got breaking news out of Madison, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got breaking news out of Madison, Wisconsin. Chris McIntosh, from the desk of Chris from the desk of Chris McIntosh. I don't know why he has to put from the desk. Dear Badger Nation, on Saturday at Camp Randall, I was honored to join my former Rose Bowl champion teammates and coaches on the field as the university community celebrated our collective successes. My years as a student athlete at Wisconsin were among the best of my life. I loved my teammates and coaches, our passionate fans, and the joy that Wisconsin football brings to our campus and entire community. It is with those experiences, along with my love and deep respect for our university, that I share in the disappointment with this football season to date. It has fallen well short of our standards. At Wisconsin, we do not shy away from setting lofty expectations for our team, our coaches, and for myself. We embrace them and accept the responsibility of meeting those goals, while our coaches, staff, and student athletes continue to demonstrate the work ethic and values that represent Wisconsin football. The results simply are not where any of us want them to be. Coach Fickle sees the potential in what this team can be, as do I. Coach Fickle sees the potential in what this team can be, as do I. And he shares the same disappointment and frustration. Our student athletes continue to stand and fight with character and pride as they battle through this moment of adversity, and they deserve our support. Hold on. I screwed up. Sorry, guys. Hold on. While we still have a lot of football to play this season, with the support and significant involvement of the Chancellor, Nutkin, athletics is committed to elevating the investment into our football program to position us to compete at the highest level. As a department, we must provide our coaches the tools necessary to succeed. That means more athletics funded investment into infrastructure, staffing, and most importantly, the student athlete recruiting and retention. In this new era of college athletics, the clear reality is that high expectations must be matched with equal level of support. The results of this elevated support may not be immediate, but we are confident that the impact will be positive and long-term. Wisconsin football and Wisconsin athletics are important to our campus, to our community, to our entire state, and to our local fans and alumni. They matter deeply to the Chancellor, who has been a strong partner since her arrival in Madison, and they matter to me. I bleed red and white, and I will not rest in this pursuit of our goals, fielding championship caliber teams and delivering the pride and the joy of success to a new generation of Badgers. You have my unrelenting commitment to do what is necessary to make this happen. Thank you for your dedication, loyalty, and passion on Wisconsin. Chris McIntosh, Director of Athletics. Ryan Willie, holy smokes, from the desk of Chris McIntosh. He just fired up Madison with that speech. What do you think, Ryan Willie? What do you think?
They don't get it. They do not get it. I am very upset right now. I'm going to keep it as clean as I can. But I'm very upset right now because I believe that McIntosh and Fickle should go. There's already been a 10% decrease in season ticket sales from last year. There's going to be higher season ticket sales are going to go down. He's only saying that to hopefully keep the season ticket sales from plummeting, which I believe that they will. He's blowing smoke up, where. But this is BS.
Can you hold on 1 second? Ryan, this Chris McIntosh guy, I mean, that was something out of some parody. That was like this from the desk of Chris McIntosh. I mean, right off the bat, this guy is the most obnoxious.
You're flipping off the fans.
This is ridiculous. This is something that I would have written as a parody. This is unbelievable. I'm trying to find my page here. I mean, it's like he's the victim of all this. It's Coach Fickle sees the potential in what this team can be, as do I. We share the disappointment and frustration.
What, a joke in the Big Ten?
It's just unbelievable. That
Oh my God! That means he's probably going to be back next year.
Oh, you know, he's back next year. There's no question he's back next year. Luke Fickle's coming back, and then he says, and the results may not be immediate. I mean, what's the last 3 years been? Again, it's like they don't get it. This is unbelievable. That was truly,
in my opinion, Wisconsin is in the same boat as Florida State right now.
I mean, you know this, Ryan Willie. I mean, if people don't know this, if people don't know, and again, I'm going to compare. I'm going to use Minnesota as an example, and so I do not affect any of you guys' moods right now. Okay, I don't want to offend anybody. I'll just offend the Gophers. Wisconsin has owned Minnesota for 30 years. Owned them. It's the longest rivalry of all football, of FBS, of Power Conference. And I think right now we're tied or something, but because Minnesota used to own Wisconsin. The last 30 years, Wisconsin has committed way more money, way better program. They got better football players. Okay, it has been a complete wipeout. Suddenly with PJ Fleck, Wisconsin now Wisconsin is sliding. They bring in Luke Fickle. The guy tries to change Wisconsin football, kind of like what Scott Frost did at Nebraska. And it completely fails. Of course it did. And now, McIntosh is not accountable. Fickle, it's just about we don't quite have enough investment. We don't quite have enough money. Oh, and by the way, when we do this change, the results are not going to be immediate. While right now, guys and gals, right now, the tradition was Wisconsin would go into Minnesota and take our best players. Why wouldn't they? If you go to Wisconsin, you're going to be playing in the NFL. If you go to Wisconsin, you're going to the Rose Bowl. If you go to Wisconsin, you're going to win football games. Now, Minnesota is taking Wisconsin's best players. And it's happening right now. It ain't like it's happening right now. And Iowa and everybody else is feasting off of what's going on at Wisconsin. And now they come out with this. Again, guys, the money that you lose is not just about the buyouts. I get that. That's a huge cost. But it's the money, the prestige, and you slide back. If you don't make the move, you're going to slide back. Wisconsin ain't going to recover from this. They got to get out from under this. It hurts. It costs a lot of money. But you get out from under this. They're not getting out from under this. That's why Ryan Willie's so upset. And Ryan, I was laughing because of McIntosh. I was not laughing because of you, sir. So I apologize. That letter is so humorous, but yet condescending. That guy is not taking any accountability at all. Nobody is.
They're flipping off the fans.
They are. They truly are. Go ahead, sir. Unbelievable.
And like I said yesterday, I will not renew my season tickets. Now I know this, I will not.
Unbelievable.
And I think the only reason why he said that or wrote that letter is to tell the fans to stop the Fire Fickle chant on national TV. Because the Fire Fickle chant went out on CBS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
And he's telling the fans to stop it, basically, by telling them that he's going to keep Fickle. And I believe that McIntosh should also lose his job. But right now, I believe that Wisconsin and Florida State are basically in the same boat.
Yeah, it's this.
I am really upset.
Yeah, I mean, at least Michael Alford's message was, I don't know, this was I don't even want to read it again because I'm going to start either crying or crying because I'm laughing so hard. The letter itself, Dear Badger Nation, from the desk of Chris Masher. This guy is a piece of work. Well,
he was an offensive lineman under Barry.
Yeah. So, but he ain't. I bleed. The whole thing was he was the victim, but now this guy's a piece of work. Holy smokes! Complete deftone here. Like he's more in pain than the Badger fans are. This guy's a piece of work.
Oh my God! All right, well. That's all I got. I'm really upset right now, so I got it. I got it.
Right. I'm sorry, my man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, no jump around there. Luke Fickle's staying. He made a lot of bad decisions. And McIntosh made a lot of bad decisions. But you know what? But now they got to figure it out. They just need more money for recruiting and staffing. They spent a lot of money on Phil Longo. They have way more money. They got way more money than the teams that they're losing to already. Sometimes it ain't about the numbers in the budget. Sometimes it's about the coach that you have. These guys are not even competitive with, Iowa 37-0. How much more money does Iowa have than Wisconsin? They don't. They don't. Iowa doesn't have more NIL. They're comparative. Wisconsin and Iowa are comparative. Holy smokes. That letter, I can't even, you know what? I can't read it again. I'm looking at it. I'm going to break up if I read it again. Truly remarkable.
Call from.
Rock and Rant.
Rock and Rant, the floor is yours.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Rock and Rant, you there?
I am.
Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours. I'm just kind of I am stunned this morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, so listen, I want to preface this, right, because I've been dunking on Wisconsin for every single reason. Everyone knows about lawsuits and stuff like that, but this is not a troll call. What that athletic director just did pissed me off, and I've been dunking on Wisconsin since the minute the Xavier Lucas thing happened.
Yeah.
That was absolutely disgusting. He's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
And I know exactly why that program is in the straits that they are in. If he is so dedicated and determined to make things right, where the hell was the support for the last 3 or 4 years under Luke Fickell so that they have the resources and things now and they're not starting from scratch? What a total crock of crap that was. That was one of the worst statements I've ever seen from an athletic director or a person in administration coming the day that Mike Alford did his statement, which was completely vanilla and like who knows what they're going to do. I literally can't believe that statement from that idiot.
It's unbelievable. I keep reading it. It's like a train wreck. I mean, from the beginning, from the desk of Chris McIntosh.
What year is this? This is 1994. Does he have a pad on his desk to send memos through the inter-office mail with the from the desk of bullshit?
It's just unbelievable.
They're making me like I always like Ryan. He's a great guy. There's a bunch of Wisconsin fans, so it's always been about the team. But that legitimately pissed me off because I've been in different moments with stupid administrators, horrible athletic directors. I'm talking to you, Blake James, but also others who are now at Boston College who did the same thing to Miami for years. So maybe I have PTSD. But this is also just the height. Those are just incompetence. This one reeks of arrogance as well.
So after his blah, 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 at the very end, I mean, he really goes over there. I mean, he doesn't take any accountability in any of this, right? He says, I bleed red and white, and I will not rest in pursuit of our goals. Okay, I get it. You're going to throw a little bit of that in there, right? Fielding championship caliber teams and delivering the pride and joy of success to a new generation of Badgers. Like he is delivering the pride. You have my unrelenting commitment. He just goes on and on and on. This guy is a nut job. This guy is a true nut job.
Did anyone in their public their PR department or the crisis management team or anyone read this? How can you sit there and say you have my unrelenting commitment when you've been part of the problem? Where was the commitment for the last 3 years? It's not like all this stuff that's going on in college football hasn't been happening. The arms race, all these other things, the facilities, the NIL, the settlement, all of this stuff. Now you figured out what kind of commitment did you have before? And if that was what you did before and you didn't have the foresight to understand what's going to happen or to influence the chancellor or to influence boosters, why would anyone entrust you to be the person now? And I got bad news for you. That statement doesn't read like, hey, Luke Fickell, you're here next year. That looks like, hey, we got Luke Fickell next year and the year after because we just got off our ass and this is going to take a few years. Yeah. Miami lost on Friday night, like bad and all that other stuff. But even getting to that was 4 years of Mario Cristobal having to get there. Sometimes you get Kurt Signetti and that happens, but that's unicorn crap, right? Like it happens. All the credit in the world to what he is doing, but that is an outlier, right? You can even look at FSU. Norvell turned it around for 1 year after already having a couple of mitigating seasons, right? FSU's had several losing seasons in the last 6 or 7 years up and down with Norvell, but Anyway, he turned around one year, but the next year it crashed. Signetti making it not only not crash, turning it around in 1 year, and then having a better year is not what Wisconsin or anybody else can plan on. So to entrust that guy who wrote that statement is absolutely insulting to not just like Wisconsin fans, but anyone whose team has had to go through this crap of a have and have not or bad administration, diminishing a brand. And so like, I'm pissed, and I am not a supporter of Wisconsin. I've been a detractor for, petty personal school-to-school reasons.
Yeah.
I feel for Wisconsin fans, man. That was crap.
That was unbelievably bad. That athletic director is that guy. At the very least, he's got no. At the very least, boy, he really thinks highly of himself, and he's got no. I don't even know what the words to say on that letter. No other athletic director would have written that letter like that. No way.
It's almost fireable. It's so incompetently tone deaf to your fan base and administrators. Yeah. They've been boat raced 61-0 the last 2 weeks combined, and part of it was probably Ohio State being, hey, let's be nice to Luke Fickell. He was part of the fam, right?
Yeah, no question.
And because that game could have been a lot more. The arrogance. You know what you do if you don't want people to sit there and say, let's fire Luke Fickell on TV? You do the right thing years ago, not now. And by the way, I know our fan base is petty as hell. We fly planes. We started that crap. I bet you all you're going to do is get more people there just to come in to do a big cheer that's louder than possible to say fire Luke Fickell, because now you just did the basic, the Streisand effect of you shined a light on something. You thought it was bad already. Yeah. Even if the attendance goes down, you're going to get a bunch of people who go there and make a statement to be louder. And whether that's just a chance of Luke Fickell or having somebody fly a damn plane over your stadium telling them to fire you, that's what's going to happen. Like, I can't even believe that I'm even more raging about Wisconsin than Florida State, with what they're having to go through. But this is even, strangely enough, even more insulting to the fan base.
It is. It is. Any athletic director who would write that type of letter, where basically he's like, I think he thinks he's a hero coming out of this. That guy's lost. That guy's out. I think Badger football and sports in general, but mainly football, I think now it is more in danger than ever, because now I think we just saw Chris McIntosh mask fully slip off. That guy. I don't want to say, I'm trying to be as kind as possible, but
I'm not. Like, I'll say it for you. But here's the one thing, Greg. There's one hope for Wisconsin fans right now. Sometimes when you have an athletic director or a person in charge do something as horrifically tone deaf and bad as what just happened for Wisconsin, he may have actually brought on his own demise, because that could be enough to have triggered everybody at Wisconsin. Athletic director, statement like that, you may get the boosters going, what? Yes, we know, we signed on, we have to do this. But when you come out like that, that backlash could all of a sudden turn to, like, whatever. I always get DEFCON 1 or 5 wrong, just like you. Whatever that next one is, he may have just actually exploded it. And that might be the inadvertent hope for Wisconsin fans, because if it doesn't, and you're stuck with that clown for the next couple of years, you're 10 years away from coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I literally can't believe I'm calling to defend Wisconsin.
And I can't believe I feel bad for Wisconsin. I'm a golfer. It's just unbelievable.
That tells you everything. But that tells you everything.
That was the
worst. You're laughing in dismissal because you just can't believe how bad it is as a Gopher fan. I've been dunking on the program for 7 months because of the glass houses thing about the Xavier Lucas, and I feel terrible for Wisconsin fans because what he just did is a complete and totally vile move.
Yes. Yeah. Boy,
my rant's done.
Wisconsin fans are going to go nuts on this. Thank you, Rock and Rant.
Nuts.
Appreciate it. Bye. Great call. Great call, Rock and Rant. Great call, Ryan Willie. Great call, Rock and Rant. Thank you, Rick. I'm And Rod Nix, that was a great call, legendary call by Mr. Seminole. I'm a little bit. I got to be honest with you. I'm a little bit off this morning. I get you don't want to be throwing around these $50 million to get out of these deals, but Wisconsin football is in a whole lot of trouble. At least at Florida State and Tallahassee, you've got a recruiting bed. You've got, you're going to get talent no matter how far you sink. Wisconsin, Wisconsin might be in a whole lot of trouble, especially with that athletic director. Oh my gosh. Anyways, guys, we've got a long week ahead of us going into week 9. I want to show you guys my Heisman Watch, PATC Heisman Watch list. A little bit of a change here. I think there's again, I did not change the saying Simpson Mendoza. I got Julian saying number 1. If you want to have Simpson number 1, if you want to have Mendoza number 1, I don't really have any problem with that. I just said Julian saying is just like, God, his accuracy it's spooky. Those are the top 3. There's about 6 guys that are all bunched together behind those 3. Dante Moore, Haynes King, I think's got to be brought up there. Diego Pavia got to be up there again. Again, this is the first week I have the great wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Cardinal Tate is having such an incredible year at Ohio State. It's hard for Jeremiah Smith to get all the targets and the yards, and you've got Gunnar Stockton. And again, Ruben Bain and Carson Beck just fell off the list. They might go back on the list. But the top 3, I think there is a separation between saying Simpson and Mendoza with everybody else at this point going into week 9. Again, the head coach hot seat rankings. Am I going to have to dig Norvell and Luke Fickell off? I guess number 1's got to be Hugh Freeze now, because he's not going to cost a whole lot of money for Auburn. His buyout ain't that much. So I guess it's Hugh Freeze, and I think eventually Kentucky's going to have to make a move. They're looking at John Summerall. They're looking at him, guys. I think that might be the match. Summerall to Kentucky. Former Kentucky Wildcat football player. I think Mark Stoops' days are numbered. And for the first time this year, I had to put Loxley on there. I don't think Brian Kelly's going to get fired. I think he is going to get his next season. But I put him at number 6 because it's more of a symbol, a statement that LSU ain't getting where they thought they were going to get to with Brian Kelly at the helm. They've got another shot this week. They've got another opportunity this week. They've got to make it happen. Do I think Brian Kelly's going to get fired? No. I think he's going to be the head coach of LSU at the start of next season. But they have an opportunity at home against Texas A&M. We'll see what happens once again. So that's my Heisman Watch. That's my hot seat. We went through the games that we are going to pick for Wednesday in our picks against the spread. Northwestern, Nebraska, Kansas State, Kansas, UCLA, Indiana, my beloved Gophers against the evil Hawkeyes, the Cavaliers versus the Tar Heels, the Rebels versus the Sooners, the Aggies versus the Tigers, the Cougars, BYU against Iowa State Cyclones, the Missouri Tigers, Vanderbilt Commodores, the South Florida Bulls, Memphis Tigers, Illinois, the Fighting Illini versus the Washington Huskies. Those are our games there. We are going to be making our picks this Wednesday. So let all that marinate. Let all of that marinate. Let all that marinate. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. Buckle up. Brace for impact. I think we're going to have a very busy week in college football. Very busy week in college football. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, Golden Gophers.